Hello, my lovely Cancers. This seems to be now, for the week of September 8th, or when you hear it and resonates. And again, Sun, Moon, Rising, which I haven't often said because I kind of figure people know it, but maybe you don't. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or a lot of Cancer in your chart. What I'm noticing as I'm starting to do this reading is I'm seeing a spiral, and it starts off at a point here, and it expands as it moves up and up and up and up and up. And what I'm being reminded of is the fact that that point at the bottom of the spiral, as you're moving up and expanding outward, that's the point at which you started your journey about love, your way of loving, your ability to be loved and to love differently. That was the old identification. And as you've been growing and expanding, it's literally like there's a current that is taking you up on this spiral towards bigger and bigger possibilities. And what I'm also seeing is that there are certain points where there are wobbles in the spiral, where you kind of get stuck on something. And as you get stuck on something, what you're hearing is more from the past rather than continuing to hear from the future. It's like you get stalled a little bit. You don't fall back down, but you get stalled a little bit. And in that stalled point, you're hearing the echoes of the past. And in the echoes of the past, what can happen is you can inadvertently, accidentally, start leaning into old behaviors that associated with this old point at the bottom of the spiral. It can lead to a sense of remembering that sense of isolation, that sense of disconnection from yourself, that is key. That disconnection from yourself, they're saying, is key. That can lead you into that sense of hopelessness and that sense of isolation. So what they're reminding you is, my very dear Cancers, is that it's absolutely vital that you find a way to, and they're going to tell you, they're telling me, to stay connected to the tenderness of your heart. Because what they were saying to me a little bit earlier was that there was sometimes a pattern when you were hurt in love. And love, it doesn't have to be romantic love. It can be friendship love too. There was a point at which it could be this almost ping-ponging back and forth between blaming yourself and blaming the other person, feeling not worthy, and then getting defensive at them. Either way, that was a sign of not being connected to your core. It was a reaction to an external situation. And what they're saying is, this is where you now are learning a new process of loving. And it starts with connection to yourself, and it starts with you learning to literally hold your heart gently. And that was a phrase that I heard and I saw as I was sitting down to do the cards. It was literally like you were holding your heart gently. Why is that important? It's important because you get the intuition card, and you get the kindness, and you get the humor. And in conjunction with this, the other information that I'm getting, what it says to me is the way you stay in contact with yourself is to remember to be kind to your own heart. And the image that they're showing me, you being kind to your own heart, it really literally is the suggestion of, imagine that your tender heart, the one that wants love, is something that you can take out and you can hold in front of you, and you can talk to gently, you can talk to kindly, you can soothe it, you can love it. And that in a very real way, however simplistic or ludicrous that sounds, it's actually a way for you to connect with your deeper, to connect, number one, with your sorrows, but also to connect with the gentleness of your heart, so that you don't go into those defensive patterns of pushing away and blaming, or closing off and tightening, because that is definitely not good for a Cancer. Cancers as a water sign are meant to flow. They're meant to be open. They're meant to be in contact with higher conscious and with the subconscious. That's the nature of a Cancer energy. It's very, very heart-centered. So when you go into situations where you close yourself off, either by criticizing yourself, you're closing yourself off from your tender heart there, or if you are closing yourself off by pushing other people away and making them bad, which goes against the grain of your tender heart, neither one of those things energetically are good for you, and neither one of those things are going to be neither one of those states are conducive to being in touch with your intuition. So what you're being told is, please remember to hold your heart gently. And as you hold your heart gently, this is one of the tools that you can use to be able to discern what's going on around you as you are venturing into different situations and relationships. When you think about, and setting boundaries, thank you, in terms of setting boundaries, you've got this tender, beautiful heart. You're coming into a situation. It doesn't matter whether it's romance, friendship, some kind of work association, social group, whatever. When you imagine your heart, before you decide to let somebody in, or before you decide to act towards somebody, check in with that heart. What does that heart want? How does that heart want to be held? How does it want to be protected and guided? Not from a defensive way, but from what feels right with this heart. Ask your heart, how does it feel? And I'm using this position because I'm seeing it like this, because it's a way of creating an observer position for yourself, so that you can understand there is a part of you that is watching this, that is aware of this beyond the feeling of it, but that you can observe and get into connection with the feeling of it from that higher energy observer place. That is going to make it far easier for you to be in touch with whether a situation is good for that heart for you or not. You're also being encouraged, Cancers, to play with your intuition on a more regular basis. Many of you are channeling automatically anyway. That's absolutely clear. And this is something that they really are encouraging you to do. And as I'm saying that to you, what they're reminding me of is that the handling of your heart like this is actually one of the things that is going to help train you to be more in touch with nuances, emotional nuances. It's going to help keep you grounded and centered. It's going to make you more of a more accurate channeler, medium, psychic. It's going to help you be able to perceive, discern accuracy, nuances from other dimensions, as well as from the emotional energies of the earthly plane. But you are being asked now to please play with your intuition. Start running some exercises and expect the universe to give you the answers. So look for synchronicities. Do things like, I wonder where the keys are. I wonder who's going to call today. I wonder who's going to be the first email that comes in. And start checking for when it's accurate and when it's not accurate. What we would often call a hit or a miss. Start playing with little things like that, so you start literally looking for the feeling of what an answer might be, and then discerning, was that an accurate feeling for a yes, and was that an accurate feeling for a no? Remembering, please, that the misses are as important as the hits, because you need to know what that energy feels like too. And then from there, you can fine-tune it. Okay? So Cancers, I'm going to leave you with that because I think it's fairly clear. And for me, this actually is really Spirit helping guide you into a way of being more consciously aware of how to navigate feelings, how to be in touch with feelings, and also to remember not to get panicky if the old echoes come back, okay, about wanting to protect, wanting to defend, wanting to attack as a way of protecting. That it's quite natural for that to come up, And if you stall, that's actually your opportunity now to check in with your heart, because chances are what you're going to do as you do that, you're going to feel it doesn't feel right to do that. And you don't need to do that, because each time you step into that observer position, the more you are anchoring yourself into your higher conscious self, the more you are anchoring into your high heart and the heart-mind connection. Okay? So it's actually just a statement of this is how you can proceed with that process that you've already been working with and that they've already acknowledged. Okay, Cancers? Take care.